When you buy MIDI controller the first time, you should consider buying something that will fit your needs right now. Don't buy something that will fit your needs in the future, because probably you don't know what you will need in the future. On my desk, you can see different MIDI controllers, and I want to talk about each one of them and how you can decide what you need. When I started, I didn't know what is MIDI controller and what should I look inside the MIDI controller, what features are really important for me. And, there are so many features that you can find in MIDI controllers, but not all of them you really need when you start. There are two things we need to consider when we buy our first MIDI controller. The first thing is the price. Okay, what is your budget? Because if you have a really small budget, you really need to think about what exactly you are going to buy. Because when I started, I knew that I'm not going to buy something expensive. It's my first one. I don't know exactly if I'm going to know how to produce it. So first of all, what is your budget? If it's not too much, you should find the best keyword that you can find in your budget. And afterwards, if you don't like it or if it's something that you don't use, you can always sell that. If you buy it used, probably you're going to get more for your money, but sometimes, it's used, so you take the risk that it's not going to work forever. I think the first question after the budget, you need to ask yourself, what instrument are you playing today? Like, what do you know how to play? Because I'm a pianist, I knew that I have to have keys because this is like what I control best. You know how to play, let's say, guitar. If you are a guitarist, maybe this one will be the best for you. If you play on flute or clarinet or other wind instruments, there are MIDI controllers for wind instruments, but usually they are too expensive to buy. If you never played anything, you can use an app have on your phone and you can see what's better for you. If you are going to use it on your home studio or are you going to use it on stage? Most of what I have here, it's for me to go on stage because I'm a singer and I use push as a main controller to control the performance. And then I use the keyboard to play. So everything here I bought after I understood what I need. Probably ask yourself why I bought this one specifically, because there are so many other 48, 49 keys keyboards. But I will get that for that later. Also, when you use it on stage, you need different things than you have if you play in your home studio. Are you going to play on this instrument or are you going to control the DAW that you have? When I decided to buy Push, I didn't have Ableton. I bought Push and Ableton live together, but it was after I understood that this is the thing I need with me on stage. So if you are going to work with any DAW, you should watch videos that tell you what exactly MIDI controller is the best for you. Push that is really built for live. Everything else you can use with every DAW you have. We need to ask yourself what exactly we can control with the instrument. My first MIDI controller, which was Nectar Impact 25 keys, there wasn't so much information online. I couldn't find anything that helped me understand how exactly I use it. I think today you have more videos how to use each one of the instruments. I read the manual, but it was really thin and it didn't explain anything for someone that don't know anything. Not like the Push that have really big manual and explain everything in details. So this is something you really need to consider also when you buy your first MIDI controller. If you don't know too much how MIDI controllers work, you should buy something that have lots of videos and really big manuals so you can understand by yourself how to use it for the best and full potential. This one and this one are two controllers that have more than just playing pads, okay? When I look at this one, I have here a button that I can press and touch and everything. And I have here also two buttons that I can use, but it's controlling only this instrument, okay? Change things in the setting here. The same for the keyboard, okay? I have here these stripes and it's also just for the keyboard. Although I can map it to control something in the DAW, in the DAW, but usually I'm not touching it. I use the same thing I got from the factory, okay? The factory setting, because it's good and it's working and this is what I need from this keyboard. If you need more than just playing on your instrument, you should consider something that have more buttons. You can have play, like you can see it here, you can have here, it's play also. You have stop here, but here it's the same button, and you have record, which is this. And actually this is what the 3 buttons I used in my other MIDI controller when I used it. It was nice and easy because I didn't need to use my mouth. Buttons I could use, and actually I had 8 knobs like I have here. Here you can see it, this one faders here this one also faders. There are different buttons you can have on your MIDI controller. Okay, if I go to push, I have tons of buttons. I have another video in this channel that you can understand exactly what's going on here on all of the buttons. Are you going to use the buttons to control your software, or you're going to use your mouth and you only need to play on your MIDI? Any MIDI controller you're going to buy, you need to take the time to learn how to use it. One thing you should know about MIDI controllers, there are 2 kinds of MIDI controllers. One that is a regular one that you can play whatever you want on the pads, and one that have MPE. Okay, so if usually when you play any keyboard, usually you push the key, and the pressure you are pushing when you press the key is staying the same pressure for the whole time. If you play it, of course, on piano, it's going to fade away, but if you play it on MIDI, usually it will sustain there. But on MPE, there is another dimension that if you press it, you press it on whatever pressure you press it, and then you press it more, you can change the sound of it. Also, usually on really normal keyboards, you press the keyboard, you press the keys, and then on MPE, okay, this is MPE, okay, so I can push the keys, I can push it like side to side, I can do some vibrato, or I can go up and down. And when I go up, I can change the sound too. This makes this instrument as MPE. Some MPEs have more than what I have here on the keyboard. Some have glide that you can move really nicely from one key to another. On a Rolly keyboard, you can have that. I really wish I have a Rolly keyboard. I will talk about that in different video. Push have the pressure. Okay, I can press the key and then press more, have more pressure. It will change the sound. This is something you should consider if this is something you really need, because if you start out, probably you don't need that. So if you want to know more about MPE and how to use it, you should look at the video that is right now on the screen.